Sonic 1 and 2 were way better films than they had any right to be. If the worst part of these films was a 3-minute dance-off to Uptown Funk, I'll take it. So spoiler alert for these films, but if you're watching this, why are you watching this if you haven't watched the films already? I mean, I appreciate it, but... The end of Sonic the Hedgehog 2 gave us the grand reveal of Shadow the Hedgehog. Now, I can only imagine that Shadow will be the main antagonist of Sonic the Hedgehog 3. And on top of that, having a Knuckles TV show on the horizon, there's a lot to be excited for in this franchise. But after Sonic 3 and Knuckles, what comes next? Let's break it down. My name is Josue, welcome to the Panic Brothers channel, let's get into it. Now, we can only imagine that the next film will be adapting the events of Sonic Adventure 2, as well as maybe some aspects of Sonic Heroes and Shadow the Hedgehog. The second film ends with Gun finding the coordinates to a 50-year-old research facility housing Project Shadow. And while it doesn't seem like much, it kind of is if we're following just the lore of the films. Shadow is probably going to be genetically engineered to be the ultimate life form. But what was he modeled after? Clearly Sonic the Hedgehog, but Sonic was definitely born after Project Shadow. At least, he has to be, right? He can't be 50 years old in these movies. There's likely going to be major differences in the lore of Sonic Adventure 2 in order to fit the lore of the films, but I can imagine major aspects of it retaining, especially Gerard Robotnik and Shadow's relationship with Maria. Now let's just go ahead and assume that the next film is also going to introduce the other major players of Sonic Adventure 2, Rouge the Bat and Amy Rose. Now, Team Sonic currently has all 7 Chaos Emeralds by the end of Sonic the Hedgehog 2, which may be a perfect opportunity to introduce Team Dark, with Rouge coming in and swiping all of the Chaos Emeralds from them. Now, I personally think that we need to cut the giant bio lizard from the movie. It doesn't really fit the vibe of the movies, I'm not gonna lie to you. Truthfully, I think the third film is just better off ending with a major fight between Sonic and Shadow, probably in their super forms. I can't imagine a world where they kill off Shadow at the end of the movie. Keeping him in the cast of characters not only makes sense in a marketability standpoint, but also allows them to avoid the unnecessarily complicated storyline in the games of how Shadow is somehow brought back. And while I did enjoy the Sonic Heroes plotline of Shadow having to figure out if he's real or not, I just think it's something that doesn't need to be explored all that much, especially if we're just figuring out how these movies will play out. Okay, but what happens after Sonic 3? Now, we're going with the assumption that there's going to be more movies after Sonic the Hedgehog 3. But then, what games are they going to adapt if they go past Sonic 3? Now, I have an idea, but I think it makes more sense to talk right now about what games probably won't be adapted. As of right now, we know of at least 7 Sonic characters that exist in the lore of the films. Sonic, obviously, Tails, Knuckles, Shadow, and all 3 members of Team Chaotix as seen in the Sonic 2 prequel comic. Now, whether or not Team Chaotix actually shows up in this universe remains to be seen, but I think it could be a really interesting dynamic for them to be shown in the Knuckles TV show, especially since that we only saw them in the Knuckles portion of the comic. Regardless, that's 7 that we know of right now, with presumably more to come in Sonic 3. Now, I also can't really see that these are movies that are going to introduce characters just to cut them in later movies, so we should probably get rid of games that don't feature these characters. Now, of course, the movies can go in a certain direction in which they adapt certain elements of these games, similar to how Marvel Studios would adapt only certain elements of the comic book storylines, like Civil War, for example. But let's go over these games real quick. I doubt Sonic Unleashed will be adapted. I love Sonic Unleashed, it's probably my favorite game in all of Sonic, but I don't want to see the Werehog getting adapted into live action. Plus, there are actually only 4 Sonic characters in the game. It's only Sonic, Tails, Amy, and Eggman, so no shot. Sonic and the Secret Rings and Sonic and the Black Knight. I think these are pretty obvious. Sonic Colors, I mean, I could see this working in maybe a TV show of some sorts with Sonic going off Earth, but I can't really imagine it ever really happening. Sonic Lost World? Nah. Sonic Mania? Sorry, but I really don't see Mighty and Ray getting into a movie. If they somehow make it, I'm eating my shoe, I'm eating something. And Sonic Frontiers. I don't really think there's enough here for a movie, and plus it's just too modern. I'm also just going to go out on a limb here and say that they won't adapt Sonic 06 and Sonic Forces, both because of their critical reception, despite having a ton of characters in the games. And I also don't think Sonic Generations will get adapted. I mean, It has a ton of characters in the game, but there's no story. It's not really a story-driven game, you're just really there for the gimmick. And they're definitely cunning Shadow the Hedgehog. I just can't imagine this is a cinematic universe where our characters are gonna hold guns. So, which means that the only games left over to adapt is Sonic CD, Sonic Adventure 1, Sonic Heroes, and Sonic Battle. I mean, that had a cool story, or Sonic Chronicles: The Dark Brothers. Not stupid. I guess my real point here is that there isn't much left to adapt, especially any game that would make a lot of sense in a marketability standpoint. Now, we have a ton of emphasis in the 2 live-action movies on the Echidna tribe. We saw them in the beginning of the first film take down Longclaw, and of course we saw how Knuckles came to be alone in the second film. The temple in the film is 100% the same temple seen in Sonic Adventure 1, which gives me this impression that with the Echidna tribe getting more and more prominence with each film, and even Knuckles getting his own show, this is all building up to adapt the events of Sonic Adventure 1, with hopefully Chaos being the final huge Thanos-like big bad that these movies are hyping us up to see. Now, as much as I would love to see Sonic CD and Sonic Heroes getting adapted, having 2 hedgehog-like enemies in the form of Shadow and Metal Sonic in the cinematic universe of Sonic just doesn't make too much sense. And I love me some Metal Sonic, but there's just too many hedgehogs. Now I know it all sounds like a long shot, but the creators of these films did say that they're going to adapt the games out of order, which definitely means I can see them adapting the events of Sonic Adventure 2 first before they go on to adapt the events of Sonic Adventure 1, especially because I personally think that the events of Sonic Adventure 1 is just a lot more grand in nature compared to 2. We could get an E-Gamma subplot, which would be amazing to see in live action, and then we get Big. Big could just be there, right? And just be in the back. Far, far in the back. Froggy. And then all we gotta do is just wait a couple years for Phase 2, which will adapt the events of Sonic Shuffle. And then Phase 3 will adapt the events of Sonic Boom. Phase 4 definitely has to be Tales of Sky Patrol. Phase 5, get this, Sonic Extreme. Phase 6 definitely has to be Sonic